evening, sir. Thank you so much.
So we welcome everyone on this evening. The day before Diwali, everyone will be traveling and we are able to find much awaiting participants in our list. So this match, 8 of 10, is going to be on women and child awareness. That is going to be presented by our expert, Rosin Rajan ma'am, is an advocate at the Madras High Court with a 14 years standing and founder of Grace Law Associates. Apart from practice, she has an inclination to issue of human rights. She is a resource person at academics, institutes, and centers of learning for the police, judiciary, medical practitioners, executives, business and NGOs, CSOs across the country. With this short introduction, we just call upon our guest to just facilitate the gathering. Welcome you, ma'am.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. I'll just share my screen and turn off my video. Please just let me know if the screen is visible. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Is the screen visible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Your screen is visible.
Okay, good.
Good.
Thank you so much. A very good evening to all of you. Happy Diwali in advance. I know you're just waiting to finish this and get back to your Diwali celebrations. But this is something that's really interesting. I would urge you to share this information that you listen to also with people at home, because everybody ought to know why this is very important. Yeah. So I'll just share with you um, certain very basic things at the beginning for you to understand what it is all about and how is it and how it works. Are you sure that you all have a computer? You can type on the chat saying yes or no. Do you all have a computer? I can't see the chat. Is anybody responding? Yes, you have a computer. How big is your computer? How big is your computer? Yes, you all have. Good. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you, Manivanan. Could you please tell me how big is it? How many inches, or yeah, the length and breadth of it? 15 inches approximate. Okay. So you're talking about a laptop. Good. Good for me. Very good. So something that we're going to see is just a very basic understanding of what does the term computer mean. I'm pretty sure all of you all would have had the opportunity to learn what is a computer in school and college in a very basic form. Uh, but I'd just like you to know something that's very essential for us to understand. So before that, could you please tell me, is the slide fully seen or is it partially seen? Ashok sir, could you please tell me?
Slide is fully visible, ma'am.
Fully visible. Okay, thank you. Something that you should basically understand is what is cyber law. Cyber law is a law that governs all kinds of computers and the internet. Now, when I asked you, do you have a computer? Everybody said yes. And the size that Aditya sir had mentioned was 15 inches approximate, right? Something that's very shocking that you will get to know is that a computer need not be of a 15-inch approximate size. If you're using a mobile phone to listen to me now, your mobile phone is also a computer. Any electronic device, so please understand, any electronic device that stores or processes data in a binary form is considered to be a computer. So your mobile phones, initially we used to have pagers, whatever kind of an electronic gadget that stores or processes data is a computer, right? So please know that cyber crimes or cyber law involves all kind of electronic devices. Okay, right. Now, what is the internet? Internet is a very huge space. It's a network. Okay, so you can't confine the term internet to be just a Wi-Fi connection or a connection that you have on the LAN. It is networking between different places all over the world. Okay, right. The next thing that you should know is what is cyberspace. Now, please don't think that I'm doing a very theoretical class. Some things we should be knowing. Where we go wrong is just the basics, and that's why I'm walking you through this. So even if someone else had walked you through this, I would urge you to pay attention, because there might be some nuances that you may not have heard of or known of. Cyberspace includes all of those things that we just spoke about. The computer, the internet, the software, the data, everything. It could be an ATM machine, any place where electronic data is being transmitted. And when you go on to see, under the definition of cyberspace, even our mobile phones fall under it. Okay, so please know that this cyber law in India is called the Information Technology Act 2000. Okay, it's called a hybrid act. Why is it called a hybrid act is something that we should know. Uh, Vegetables, we know we have hybrid vegetables, right? Now, why do we call them hybrid vegetables? That because they are partially natural, organic, and partially um created by human beings, right? One is naturally given by God. The other one, there is some changes that is evolved by humans. Now, in this Information Technology Act, please know, as far as crimes in India are concerned, or crimes across the world are concerned, they're basically divided into two. You call them either the civil law or the criminal law. Okay. Now, Information Technology Act is a combination of both. And when I say combination of both, something that you should know, that it deals with cyber crimes. Okay, it deals with crimes, sees it as an offense, and there is a punishment. In certain spaces, it deals with certain things that are not criminal in nature also. It regularizes things that are not criminal in nature also. One is the electronic signature or the digital signatures, which are very commonly used, and through the pandemic, there has been a great rise in digital and electronic signatures being used. Intellectual property. Now, what is intellectual property? What is being created, visioned by an individual, which is brand new, and that being misused becomes a civil in nature, like how someone's misusing your property, right? So intellectual property is the property that derives out of the brain of a person, and so that kind of a property being misused also falls under Information Technology Act. Okay. The other one is data protection and privacy. Now, all of this is connected to the electronic gadgets that we use. Okay. But something that is of a distinction is between the cyber crimes and the other three types. And that is why Information Technology Act is considered to be a hybrid act. Now, if you see categories of cyber crime can happen against an individual person or persons, number of persons. It can happen against a property, that is your gadget, your electronic device, your computer. Basically, the term that we use in the digital world is a computer. Okay. Cyber crimes against the government. So trying to, for example, trying to steal data of government, or trying to manipulate the data that a government computer has. So all of these happen to become cyber crimes. These are three broad types. Okay. The other cyber crimes are logic bombs, spamming, viruses, email bombing, email abuses. All of this is something that we know. When it comes to crime against person, which is predominantly against more against women and children, but at the same time, we cannot negate that it is not happening to men also. These are offenses that we will learn more about. One is cyber stalking. It's literally like following a person. Okay, if you and I are people who like to observe what is someone doing? Are they on a holiday? Is this person going to office, or is the work happening? Just following the person is stalking. Okay, from the perspective of a normal crime. Cyber stalking is when you do it through a gadget, when you follow a person through a gadget, um, for the wrongful purposes. Okay, impersonation, trying to project yourself as another person when you're not the other person at all. Loss of privacy is something that's a matter of great concern. I will give you a depth analysis of how this loss of privacy has happened during times, like even before we were young, like how did it generate? Okay, transmission of obscene material. This is something that you would have heard yesterday's speaker speak about. Harassment with the use of computer. Yes, this is becoming very common, right? Bullying, harassing, all of this is becoming very common. So these are offenses under cybercrime against a person or persons. Okay, it could also be against a group. Please know that in Ritu Kohli's case, this was the first case that ever brought up the concept of cyber stalking. And it was reported, it was the first case that was reported in India. So once this was reported, the victim complained at the police against the person who said that her identity was wrongfully used by another person, um, over chat, okay, in the internet. And then she also complained how it was being misused and she was being portrayed as a very bad person. Okay, bad person in the sense the whole moral character or the behavior of a person. And then how her contact details were also being leaked out through computers. So with this, she happened to lodge a complaint, and with the IP address, they were able to trace out the person who's the offender, and then they had arrested the person. So this was the first case. So please know it is possible to actually track down the perpetrator, but with times changing and different gadgets changing and different um, ways of getting away with offenses, it is equally challenging for the investigating officers also to track down the offenders. Harassment through mails and cyber stalking, these are two things that I have already spoken to you about, which will give you a just understanding of how it is. Okay, in example, for example, if you have this is a normal trait. Okay, even in villages this is a normal trait. When a neighbor tries to go out, you tend to keep watching the neighbor and saying, okay, this is happening in the neighbor's house today, they cooked this, today they came in at this time. So talking like this has always been there in the culture in India, right? And now it's happening on the cyber platform, on the computers. So please know that all of this are matters that concern the cyber world as crimes. Cyber defamation, defaming a person using a computer. Child pornography. Yesterday, I hope you would have heard about CSAM material being sent out, right? Cyberbullying is again irritating a person and trying to, get them go mad and crazy over themselves is cyberbullying. You're harassing the person, you're torturing the person. Cyber grooming is trying to build relationship uh, in a way that you try to become very close and try to portray yourself. For example, when I say yourself, you should think of how the offenders commit the offense. So trying to portray themselves as someone really good to build a relationship for the purpose of having a sexual relationship. Okay, right. uh, the total act deals with certain very predominant offenses, which I will quickly walk you through. Section 65 deals with hacking of the computer system. So if your phone is being hacked, this is the provision of law. Okay. Section 66, accessing a computer without prior authorization. So there are two sections that I will want you to keep in mind, is section 66 and 67. Section 66 is when you have access to my mobile phone or my laptop without me giving you the authority. I'm not giving you an authorization. I'm not giving you permission. So without prior permission, if you're actually going to have access to a computer, it is an offense under section 66. Okay. Next, 66A is something that you should know. Punishment for sending offenses through communication service. Now, this has been decided to be very vague and broad and has been struck down. When I say struck down, this provision does not stand good hereafter. Okay, because it's very broad, and they had made changes to make things very specific. Okay, the Supreme Court actually has struck down and also said that 79 Rule 3.4, the reason why I'm reading this to you is it talks about intermediary guidelines. Now, who are intermediaries? Intermediaries are person who actually give connection to the different gadgets, to the different computers, or access to the different other computers. When I say different computers, it is not just your phone. From your phone, having an access to my phone or Ashok sir's phone or any of your friends' phone. So these intermediaries are people who give you that access. Example, now we use GPay, right? Now GPay is a site who's an intermediary, who's giving you access to the mobile banking system of another person, and you have a transaction that happens. Other old time people that we know who are intermediaries are cyber cafes. Even now we have a lot of internet service providers. Previously there was only one that started with in India, and now we have multiple internet service providers. So all of these people are called intermediaries. Okay, and they are held accountable under section 79. Now, having said that, there are a few other provisions that I would like to walk you through. If dishonestly receiving a stolen computer, as in, for example, at a coffee shop, if you're a man, woman, or a child, I would urge you not to give your mobile phones, not to give your laptops to your friends. They might be very good people, but you never know when things will change. Do not share your passwords with them. Do not give them a live computer. If you actually see the IT world, people working in the IT, they tend to lock their computer immediately when they walk out of their space, right? That's a good practice. So please start having these good practices. And your face IDs for your phones are good, but how far are they protected is another question. Even if a person is sleeping, you just show the face halfway through, also it gets unlocked. So please know that all gadgets do not have the security system that you think are inherited by them or is already in existence in them. Okay. uh, Identity theft, for example, if you are a person who's very famous, and I hope you'll have heard all of this, where police officers' identity has been robbed by people and projected for money, right? And there have been issues that have cropped up and cases that are on. So please know that an identity of person being robbed, it's called identity theft. It's 66C. Punishment for cheating by personation using a computer resource. Yeah, personation is projecting. It is similar to identity theft, but not exactly. There has to be one more action of cheating. So if there is cheating that happens by personation, then 66D is a provision. 66E deals with violation of privacy. I will walk you through details of privacy shortly, so then you will get to understand it a bit better. Cyber terrorism, I hope yesterday or day before yesterday, Ashok sir had shared a cyber terrorism case over WhatsApp. If you've not got it, please get in touch with him. He will share that with you. And with that, you will get to understand what cyber terrorism is all about. Now, 67, okay, I said 66 is important, 67 is also important. What was 66? I'll quickly rush you through. 66 deals with accessing a computer without prior authorization, right? Now, what is 67 and why is it important? You are accessing into a protected system. That is giving permission. You've not got permission to access the system. This is having access to a protected system. Okay. So when you have access to a protected system and through that system you try to publish or transmit or send any kind of a information that is wrong, and at the same time if you send any CSAM material, child sexual abuse material, then it becomes an offense under 67A and 67B. Okay. Section 70 deals with breach of confidentiality and privacy. This can actually apply in spaces where confidentiality documents are being signed. So even when you have a certain app that has details where you have to tick or say yes to the particular app, please do understand that certain places they have a confidentiality privacy and privacy. Let me give you an example. If you certain camera apps are available where if you do not download a particular special feature and you're trying to take a screenshot, you can't take a screenshot because they have some kind of confidentiality and privacy conditions and agreements. So you can't do that. Okay. So please know that when there's a breach, this is a provision that will have that can be accessed. Phishing is again a criminal offense. Unlawfully obtaining money or property or services from a person by compelling the person. So there's some pressure that you're giving the person. There's some kind of a force that you're giving that person, and a threatening or some form you're using. While you have the Indian Penal Code deal with it with reference to cheating, mischief, forgery, and abetment. Okay. Now, how is the cyber world, cyberspace, the cyber world? Please know that in 1 to 6 weeks, today we are talking about this. In the 6th week, things will change. Okay. So if you think you've attended the session and you've learned it all, please let me tell you that you've not learned it all. You have to keep going with the times. Okay. I would urge you to know about this Facebook case that came up in the Honorable Supreme Court, and what happened was very novel. Uh, when this case came up, the Facebook system or the WhatsApp system, Facebook owns WhatsApp, right? So they were questioned, can you narrow down the offender who has sent this material from one system to the other, from one WhatsApp chat to the other? So then they said that we do not have information, we don't know. If you remember in the recent past, you all got a text called end-to-end encryption, right? End-to-end encryption is this in simple. There is one server, there's the other server. When I say server 1, server 1 maybe is my mobile phone, server 2 is your mobile phone, and you have a transmission server. Now, they say we work as a transmission server. We don't work as a person who brings in that data of information of who the actual offender is. So we do not have information. Please also know that there was this case in 2019. It was the first time Facebook itself filed a case in California against NSO Israel. Okay. It's NSO Israel is a private organization. It has a business of dealing with cyber weapons and cyber intelligence. It's a new spyware um, kind. Okay. So please know that WhatsApp, through a WhatsApp missed call, a spyware was injected into the instrument in April 2019. So this actually brought Facebook to a stall to say that organization NSO Israel had behaved in a manner where they had robbed the details through a spyware or was watching through a spyware. And this was very weird when this case came up, the immediate question was, so what do you do, Facebook? Don't you watch people? Don't you observe people? Aren't you doing the same, committing the same offense? It is like, if you're a Tamilian, they will say tel kotna, you get a no, right? It's almost the same. So please know that in India, in July 2019, the then uh, Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad had actually had a conversation with Chris Daniel. So who's Chris Daniel? He was the CEO. He is the CEO of WhatsApp medium, like Paytm and all of that, right? So this person had actually given up details to ask, how is privacy happening? I hope you've also got the opportunity to see the video of Mr. Sundar Pichai trying to say that he is not able to commit, telling there's nothing called privacy here, but at the same time cannot even give up on the system that he's working for. Please know that the old time spywares were through mails, messages, technography, and all of that. But now it has become different kinds of spywares. It can just come through a missed call. It can actually have access to everything in your computer. Okay, please know that in India we have a emergency response team, which is the CERT in. It's called the Computer Emergency Response Team India. So they are the ones. They are the ones who work in and through the government to actually see that offenses do not happen, and a lot of protection to electronic data is there. Please know that you and I are being spied. Okay, if you're using a Facebook account, a WhatsApp account, an Amazon account, all of these, I'm not just telling Facebook, all these applications that we download are spywares by themselves. See, they gave it all free of cost, right? No one would give you anything free of cost these days. And if you've got it free of cost, please do know that there is something wrong behind it. They have their own um, systems to get the data that they require. Okay, so please know that these spywares have to be monitored in a way or used in a way that you don't give in more of your personal information into that. Okay, what is a revenue generating model? Okay, they have to get revenue, right? They're giving you the application absolutely free of cost. So these keywords that you use, your audios, your texts, your photos, whatever is uploaded on a cyberspace, any kind of a cyberspace or internet as you might call it, does not have anything called protection, even if you put a lock to it. Please know, once, even if you delete it, it does not go out of the cyberspace. So please know that all of these things are something that we very naturally in ease do these days. We love to, have our statuses put up, Twitter's put up, Snapchats have come up, where it's such a wooing thing that you want to upload it immediately and get that streaks come up, right? I've heard there's something called streaks. I don't use Snapchat, but uh, what I've learned out of what I see youngsters do. So please know that this urge that it creates gives you some kind of a pleasure, right? Please know that this is their revenue generating model. Your personal information, content that they want to be used against you, is the revenue generating model. Yeah, they will sell it to, for example, let me give you a simple for simple understanding. You go to the shopping malls and they ask you to write your mobile phone and say there is a gift that you will get, and we all write our mobile phones and come, and all of that data is being sold to the other um, people who run these businesses with telecall agencies or whatever, and you get these random calls of property, this, that, everything. So similarly, all of your content that you upload online is being sold for a price. Let me tell you, my very own friend who studied along with me in college, and then after she finished her law, she did her MBA in a very reputed institution in India. And when she studied in school, she wrote an article, and that was published in a reputed newspaper in India. And we have a habit of Googling our names to search if there's any content that's gone anywhere else and all of that. And in that course, to our surprise, we found that small child's, I mean, a 12 standard girl child's photograph being sold for a price. She's with uniform with a plaited hair. We have no idea why it is being sold, but it is sold by the reputed news agency. So that was taken up to notice. But please know that any content, even that is very, very decent, can be used for any other purposes. Okay, so please be on the watch. Um, and we are the product. We have to be very careful. Please know that all of these gadgets are being sold for a very cheaper price, which has so many features and all of that. And if you just go back to understand how much does it cost for an application, just one application in your mobile phone, it will be in a whooping uh, price. But if you see so many applications in your phone and the gadget that comes of free, please be vigilant. We are the product. I am the product. You are the product. With this, there's a lot of manipulation also that happens with human brains. It's not just elections. It's also um, of things that are happening in and around the society. Okay, so please be vigilant about it. Have we got addicted to cyberspace? Is my question. Okay, and in this question, please analyze within yourselves how many of us, when we use Facebook or when we used Facebook, or if even if we are continuing to do so, what kind of content or how many uh, people watch us is something that gives us an urge, right? So why do you use Facebook, and what is the revenue generation that we are giving for these platforms? First and foremost, we are giving them our personal sensitive information. Now, what is there on Facebook? Yes, we write our names, we write our date of births. All of this is your personal sensitive information that we are sharing, right? The other thing is personal character information. How do they map the personal character information? Let me give you this exercise. If you've shopped something for Diwali on Amazon, or if you wanted to buy something and did not buy it, it will flash on your Facebook profile. I'm just giving you one example for you to understand because time is very limited. It will flash as advertisements itself on your Facebook page. How does Amazon and Facebook work together? It's not just because they fall under the same umbrella, but data, your data, what you see and smile, what you like to watch. Maybe you're scrolling and there's something bad that comes up. In another few seconds, that when you scroll, the bad keeps coming up. If you watch a drama or a cartoon, you will have a series of cartoons that will come up. So please know that what you are looking at is also being observed. And how is this being observed is something that I'm going to tell you now. Okay. Yes, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, that even if your phone is turned off, your camera is still working, your microphone is still working, and that's how it is. Let's go back to the old times. I told you I will tell you how this started from time immemorial. Like, how did this evolve and come? One is, initially we had these phones in which we could remove the battery. But now we have phones that do not have the battery that can be removed by normal means, right? Battery is attached within the phone. Please also remember that initial mobile phones did not have cameras. Then came the front camera, right? I'm sorry, the back camera. And with that, something that these mobile phone vendors or producers understood is that everybody wanted to take pictures of themselves. So that became content that they could generate money out of. So then came the front camera. Now the back and the front camera is something that we have. So however you have your phone, wherever you have your phone, you are being observed inside out. And if you have women and children at home, please keep a watch when you give them gadgets like these that have cameras and microphones. Let me tell you, in short, if you're going to say you have a headache, uh, I'm pretty sure you will get a text or an advertisement for a massage parlor or something that's close by. And this is how data vibrates and is content for people for their business. So we are actually commodities to the business. We are the ones who are being trapped. So please remember that. This was one of the instances also that have happened with just testing gadgets like what do you call it? That voice teller, no? Uh, what is its name? You call it Alexa, yeah. You call it and it responds to you. Testing gadgets like Alexa, we got to see how mobile phones of people did have access to information. As in, we had a person say that they had body pain and wanted leave and left. We were texting the gadget. In few seconds, as he leaves, he calls us and tells that he's received a message of a massage parlor, which was so shocking. So gadgets being connected, not being connected, just what you speak into your phone or in front of your phone, even your family matters, nothing is private. Everything becomes public when it comes to internet. So please keep a watch on it. Okay. E-governance is something that's totally up. As I already said, we are being spied. Um, a very small research that I'd like to bring before you. It's a big research, but I'm bringing it in a very small way. Oxford had done this research of checking how many people do check for likes and smile at certain things, and what happens to them. They feel happy when they are being acknowledged. When someone says very good, when someone says yes, you've done your job, right? So that kind of a gratification has started to occur because of the cyberspace. And if you see, that gratification gives them pleasure. And if that gratification does not happen, the whole person's behavior, mannerisms all change. In example, if you have teenage children at home and you don't give them the phone to play, uh, it may not be something that they're watching or they're vulnerable to. But what tends to happen is that their gratification goes away very quickly once you take away the application that has the game in it. Why is it so? It has something connected to the dopamine secretion in the brain. Please know that this is something that's outside, but there's something happening to us inside. And all of these reactions, all that we do, I hope you also remember the blue whale incident. Now, what brought many children to death is because of the reflexes in the body, the dopamine secretion, the instructions that were given just to be gratified to go to the next level of the game. So please know that it's this dangerous. Um, Even smoking, drinking, gambling also does not have so much of an impact as the internet does. And it says that the study says that one girl was found to have 400% increase of dopamine secretion, which is equal to consuming cocaine. So you're consuming a drug using a gadget for long hours has the same effect and impact. Now, what is the solution? There are quite a number of cyber de-addiction centers and cyber fasting um, practices that people have at homes. So please do ensure that you have cyber fasting for your children, even for yourself. Even I'm even talking about myself. Once we get up, do we watch the mobile phone? We're giving them access to content. Let me just walk you through three cases and wind up. There was a picture of a teacher which was posted as a call girl. So when they went in to do the investigation, it was the teacher student whom she shamed before the others um, had actually done this act. And when the child was asked, why did you do this and how did you do this? In simple, he said, I use the WhatsApp DD. I know the DP. I know her photo, and I know her number, and I just used it to put it up on that site that has information for call girls. The other one is where a student had hacked into a system um, just to change the marks that he or she had received. Uh, this was a very interesting case of a couple. In fact, this man has a habit of watching pornography when his wife is away. So he had been watching these videos, and one time when she was away, he happened to see a video of himself and his wife in that very site, and he was shocked. So unofficially, he asked for an inquiry, and when the inquiry happened, what was found is a camera in the television that was installed that actually captured, and that data had gone to a space where such information was money. So please know that all of this is absolutely dangerous, but at the same time, we should use our actual skills to use it for actual use. 10% only is the actual use that we are doing. Uh, for example, mobile phones are to contact people. To contact people is the 10%. To draw information, learn and unlearn, yes, that is the 10%. Beyond that, the 90% is being used for all wrongful purposes. And please know the majority of the child pornography content goes out of India. Please also know in artificial intelligence, there are very many things that are coming up as a nano chip, um, tooth device. So all of these are things that are already being experimented in various places, and it's a matter of concern. So please, as technology grows, know to limit technology to the actual use that we have to. Certifying authority is someone you should know. Certifying authority is a person who grants the license to have an electronic signature. Remember, we had the conversation about how and why IT Act is a hybrid act. Yes, electronic signatures have to be certified by a certifying authority. Okay. So please know that for the procedures, it's pretty simple. The very flyer of this T20 below has the cybercrime.gov.in and also the toll number that can be contacted. So please share that with everybody so that they will get to know about it. Um, to quickly walk you through just certain things, use the gadgets to what it is supposed to be. Beyond that, it is actually giving out your private information. In case of any kind of wrongful texts or messages or harassing information, please do complain to on the website if you do not want, to go to the local police station. But please know that when it is being investigated, the investigation can be done by a police officer not below the rank of an inspector. So inspector or above are people who are supposed to investigate the matter. This is in 78 of the IT Act. Okay. Few measures for online safety. Please keep an eye on fraudulent information, email messages. All of this is something that we know. Do not respond to any of your personal information. So certain spaces is not required for us to give all our personal information. Beware of fraudulent websites, Pay attention to privacy policies. Know what you're signing in for. If you dial a number, if you're actually accepting an application, you accept the terms and conditions, give them access to your photos, give them access to your camera, see why and for what you should give access to, what you should give permission to, and use it appropriately. Guard your email addresses, have strong passwords, keep changing your passwords. And all of these are offenses that have recently turned out in a, this is just a bail application that came up. Okay, even in this case, it was a very similar structure where a female's details was being misused by a one-side lover, and the bail was not granted because the person had used an online space for having tarnished or defamed the girl, character assassination, so on and so forth. So in short, zip all your personal information. Okay, block all those nasty messages. You don't need to respond. Do not respond back to nasty messages. Not worth the trouble. I'm seriously telling you. There was okay, I'm not giving you a long example, I'll make it pretty simple. If you're going to get a wrong text, just block that number and report it. Don't do anything beyond. Don't respond back to that person. You don't have to fight it. Pick your battles. Choose and pick your battles. Okay. Flag off that information. Share that information with the investigation agency. They will do the appropriate. You need not respond back and feel smarter. Even if your uncles or aunts or brothers or sisters, you might want to fight it out with the person who's committed that wrong. It is not essential at all. Please know what you need to fight for and what you need not fight for. Please also know to spend your time appropriately. Be safe. Uh, Enjoy yourselves. Have a happy Diwali, and I hope this has given you some light of information that you can share with people and also be safe on the cyberspace. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful session.
Thank you, sir.